What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. International break, so we're going to discuss a few topics that are on my mind. I want to get your thoughts on them too. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Smash a like on the video if you haven't already. If you're watching the playback, please leave your comments on the video about what we discussed today. Few people already in the building. Let's go through. Yep, the Orta one seems to have caught people's imagination. Triple G, or selling a dream again. I'm already aware we're selling Raf, but what does that mean for KP, Melier, etc.? He's basically saying that we'll add some senior players, but not getting rid, long one, but not getting rid of the deadwood and adding more signings. He's using Bielsa's scapegoat small squad BS, and yeah, we'll get into all of that. 1440 Yorks, the squad needs major overhaul with plenty of quality coming in. Basically, basically saying keep the old S with the kids and a couple of additions. It will be a disaster awaits. Listen, we're going to get into all of that, man. Evening Blinky Fish, Chris. Unless we get new owners, we can look forward to a relegation battle every season. Yeah, we're going to get into all of that. Tony, crystal ball time, KG. Will Ovechkin overtake Gretzky to become NHL top goal scorer? Yes, he will. Absolutely will. Or he won't be stopped. T85, evening, Dr. KG. Just as we're coming out of one hole, feels like we're being softened up for being thrown down another by Orta. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Hi, KG. James, hello to James. Who knows? Evening, legend. Evening to you, man. Evening to you. So yeah, I mean, there's a few things to discuss there. Obviously, Victor Orta is the main centerpiece, but I just want to discuss Jesse Marsch first off. Obviously, it's just 4 games. We've only got a 4 game sample size, but as it's the international break, I just want to get people's thoughts and give you my thoughts on his time so far. I think with what we're getting with Jesse so far, I mean, he's got 4 games, 2 losses, 2 wins. I think what we're getting is what you expect to get from a new coach. And that's fresh ideas, a fresh voice in the room. I think it was needed. I think that the message had long gone from some of these players because, I mean, we're even seeing that the last 2 results are being, given to a Bielsa comeback. But in all fairness, those weren't happening this season. They were happening the previous few years, but not so much this season. So I think we should give the credit to Jesse Marsch where it should be given, especially against Wolves. We're 2-0 down at halftime. Whatever he said at halftime has obviously worked, and we'll go from there. That's what we have to do. I will say I thought it started off a bit slow. I thought he was still using too much of Bielsa's imprints with some of the team selection. I thought he was just transitioning a bit too slowly for me. But you can see through the games as they've gone on, he's put more of a stamp on the squad himself, on the starting lineup, the formation we're playing. And I think overall, it's successful so far. I think it's successful so far. Triple G, credit to Marsh, he's trying to build his own legacy, can't knock the fella. Yeah, he's absolutely trying to put his own imprint on the team right now. And there has to be a lot said for that because these players are drilled. They are drilled in the Bielsa way. They definitely are. So it's going to take a lot of work. And also, again, I've mentioned before, and it's not being horrible. The quality of the squad isn't the greatest. So he's really having to work with what he's got. But I think he's getting the most out of them. The last 2 results show you that he's getting more out of them than we've seen so far this season. So McAllister Bishop just got to work straight into the main man stream. Big up KG, big up to you, and big up to everyone. What have you been doing today? Yeah, I mean, Acton Dave, think he wanted to respect Bielsa in the first 2 games. I think there was a bit of that. I think there was a bit of not wanting to overwhelm the fans with too much change straight away. I think he realized this wasn't just a manager for a lot of Leeds fans, including myself. This was something completely different. This was like a culture shift within your club, someone that was just well respected. So I think he just wanted to like finely tune and change things as slowly as possible. So there's definitely that. Evening to Allison and Mike Adams. Do you also get fed up with all the transfer gossip? I do, Mike, but there's something with it for this coming summer, Mike, where I'm more vested, I'm more interested in it this summer, more than any other time. Usually when there's a load of rumors, I usually just dismiss them until someone's holding up the shirt. but I kind of need to see what this club's about this summer, and we won't know until then. Obviously, we're obviously hearing rumors and of Raphinha and Kalvin Phillips and everyone else like that, but hey, we've got major changes coming up, especially with Orta's comments. But listen, we'll get into that. So yeah, I mean, listen, I want to get there's a few people in here already. Give me your thoughts on what you've seen with Jesse Marsch so far. Your thoughts so far. Do you think he's a good motivator? What is it that you've seen that you like? What you don't like? Just give me your thoughts. I also think he's definitely not a tactician like Bielsa was. I think he's definitely more the motivational speaker. And I think these players needed it at this time. I think they needed it at the time when the change happened. They needed something else. They needed something else. So yeah, I mean, Orta, man, Orta's getting absolutely pammed in the chat. Crazy. Uh, Blinky Fish, Jesse was just what this squad needed to squeeze every ounce of passion out of them. I think he's a great man manager and seems to have got inside these players' heads. Rodrigo, a different player. We'll speak about Rodrigo in just a second. Blinky Fish. Uh, Isaac. Isaac edits. Yes, KG Blow, please can you give me a shout out? There you go, Isaac. Shout out to you. Low-key needs to work on the defense. Yeah, I mean, listen. I mean, again, I mean, it's all intertwined with what we talk about in terms of recruitment. But yeah, I mean, defense needs a lot of work next season. No doubt about it. I think the fullbacks, we need a whole set of new fullbacks for next season if we're going to be even close to being safe next season. I'm talking like we're already safe already, people, but just saying if we survive the Premier League relegation race this season, there needs to be much better fullbacks at the club than what we've currently got. As good as Ayling was on against Wolves going forward defensively, it's not good enough. Usually, when you've got people that can go forward, they've got something to make up for it defensive wise. Think of Trent or someone else like that. He doesn't have those tools. So it's hard to get both sides of the coin out of Luke in terms of offensive work and defensive. It's not happening. Stuart Dallas at left back this year hasn't worked this year. It's 1 year too much. So we definitely need investment in those areas as well as midfield. Paul saying, "Hi KG, if the ownership changes, then they will make these decisions. Possibly not Rads and Orta. Yeah, we'll have to see." C Stone saying the defense will get better when we get two fullbacks who can defend. Yeah, absolutely. Alison and Marty Adams, Jesse is a great manager. Look, when he scored, we showed a real unity. Absolutely. Like even players before, and I mentioned it this week on the debrief, but even players like Somerville who felt absolutely ostracized from the squad. He's there celebrating with everyone. Everyone's just getting involved. Everyone's backing each other. You've seen it now. Jesse Marsch, another thing that I will say, and you know what I'm like with this thing, but he's getting in the fourth official's ear. The players are starting to use dark arts, things that you need to do. The whole innocent play, the game the right way, it doesn't work in the Prem. It doesn't. It's just naive. You can't go through seasons like that, especially when you haven't got the quality to on the ball. So yeah, it's been nice to see that. It's nice to see the good old S Housery back. So I will definitely say that. Banjax, Cody Drama getting good reviews, good enough to oust Ayling. Yeah, Cody Drama's been doing very well at Cardiff by all accounts. Everything I've seen, I haven't seen too much of him play, but from reports that I've read, he's doing amazing stuff. But I will catch the Cardiff game because I want to see it myself. I want to see if he goes past the halfway line, unlike he wasn't doing at Leeds. I want to see if he's got that confidence going because that's what the loan move was all about, people. It was never about slighting Leeds. It was about getting regular first team football to get his confidence up. So we'll see what happens with Cody Drama. But I've got another name that I want to throw in there as well for what I want as a right back. I think he's Dave saying I think he's more animated on the bench. I like our players challenging the ref. I think about the Dan James penalty at Newcastle. We didn't contest it exactly, Dave. The players, even Luke Ayling now is starting to get into the referee a bit more. It's so necessary. People may not like it because we haven't done it for so long under Bielsa, but you've got to do it. Just like when Jesse said about, when we wasn't given a foul and he goes to the fourth official. Oh, so that's not a foul. He's putting doubt in the referees' heads. You've got to. It's just a part of the game. You may not like it, but it is a part of the game. So yeah, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. The players starting to get at refs again, not in like a moronic way where it just looks stupid, but just in a way that they're going to stand up for themselves because we have been pushovers for the last couple of years. We have been. Tom saying I would go all out for Elise at Palace in the summer. That boat sailed, and Elise wanted to stay in London. Tom, I can tell you that for a fact. But he was going to stay in London anyway. He wanted to move from Reading and go down south, so and stay down south, I should say. But yeah, 8 million for Elise is a bargain and a half. Amazing quality, and he's only going to get better. Um, Let's have a look. Detailing small squad will not work with injury-prone players, and we recruited quite a few of those here. We'll get into those when we talk about Victor Orta. Anthony Jones finally catch you on a live. Great channel, pal. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you for that. Jazz Beer, yo, KG, I'm a little down today. My best mate, Baz, the Zulu beat. Oh, Birmingham City fan, yeah, passed away. I'm gutted. A wonderful man. Yeah, I saw that, man. And, commiserations to you, Jazz Beer, and everyone else. Yeah, I saw that on social media that he passed away. I think they're going to do something for him at the next Blues game. I think they're going to do something at the Blues West Brom game, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it sounds like he was a good fella, man. So, condolences to you, man. Let's go through some more. I mean, everyone's talking about the transfers, and we will talk about that because I've got some stuff to say on that as well. Emma Oliver, Rodrigo has been one of our best players since Marsch landed. Dan James has also gone up a notch. Yeah, I agree. Sean, yeah, shout out to you, Sean. Hello to you, man. Hope you're well. Yeah. I mean, Dave, yeah, I mean, talking about the ref thing, exactly look at clap on the Elliott challenge. I mean, obviously the Liverpool buses, Man City buses, Man United buses, they're in a different category. But you just have to stick up for yourself in every game. Obviously, when Klopp says something, they're gonna listen a bit more. But it doesn't hurt to get in their ear. Doesn't hurt. And we saw that because we won a lot of free. Just think about how many little cheap free kicks we won against Wolves. We were never winning those before. Never. So it does. There it is. It does work. And Sean, I always see Sean about on other people's channel, and he always does this. I'm having my tea and watching your live stream at the same time. Yeah. Good one, Sean. Good one. I always see him do this on other ones. I've been waiting for that, Sean. Thank you. Tom saying Klassen had a good debut. You know what? You know what it is though, Tom. I don't know if we're going to see him again because I think Millier might be back for the next one. But I'm always weary with that. You know, when you see a keeper have a good substitute appearance, and then you see him start in the next game, and all of a sudden it's not as pretty as it was. I just wonder with him because I've seen him at under 23 level, man, and I don't know. I'm still not there with him. But yeah, it was an absolutely class debut. Well, excuse the pun, but hopefully Melier is back for the next one. Nephews, have you seen the new season of Top Boy? I haven't yet. Haven't seen it just yet. I will do though. Kenny, good evening, KG from Denmark. March on together. Man, shout out to wherever you're watching from around the world, wherever you're watching from. So yeah, I mean that's the Jesse Marsch talk. And like I say, if you're watching the replay, please give me your thoughts on Jesse Marsch in the comments. I'll be happy to hear them and respond to them. Now, I mean, obviously now I've got to talk about Rodrigo because listen, I've had to go back. I've had to reopen the case files. I've had to reopen the case files because I originally said Rodrigo, he's got to go. His parole, it's all over. All right. I've recently reopened the case files, and I've got a new date of May. I'm going to see what Rodrigo's doing come the end of the season because there may be a way of him staying here. I just think Jesse Marsch has got out of him what Marcelo couldn't, and I don't know why that is. I mean, part of the reason is all the running about that Rodrigo had to do, and he was no good at it. Just putting it out there, he wasn't no good at it. He was no good at the tracking back. He was looking busy. He was good at looking busy, but he was never good at tracking back, which is why we had big gaping holes in our midfield. And then even when he played up front, he was never that good either. But I think the talk with Jesse, has made Rodrigo just, I think he's given him confidence. I think he's given him confidence that he wants him, that he sees him as an important cog in the machine. And it's just given Rodrigo a new lease of life. Yes, he's not as clinical as you wish he would be, but I think he's doing okay right now. But for me, yeah, I mean, McAllister, he did this at the end of last season. He did. And this is what I'm saying. He has to be consistent now. He has to. Like for me, if he does this now and then he goes for the next 3-4 games cold, then that is it. We're going to shut that case file and he's going on death row. It's over. But for me, with the duration of his contract, his age, if we can get something out of him where he looks useful, then I would keep him in the squad. But that's on the basis that it's more consistent. It has to be more consistent. That's the main thing for me. Nephews, yeah, I think under Marcelo, Rodrigo wasn't able to express himself as much. I just think that he was tasked with too much. And it sounds ridiculous, I know, but it just wasn't his game. That tracking back thing wasn't his game. And I always remember John Joe Shelby in an interview saying to him, dude, why do you keep on running around so much? And he says, I don't know, but Marcelo wants me to do it. Listen, I think that kind of tells you everything when it comes to Rodrigo and his role under Marcelo. So Jesse now wants him just to play further forward, link the play, shoot a bit, and it's much more his game. And if we can get what we got, 10 games or 8 games left, I would like to see at least, and I'm setting the bar low here. I'd like to say at least 3 more goals from him, at least 3, and multiple key passes, at least forward to the main striker. That's what I want to see. If he goes back to being the Rodrigo that we saw against Villa, which was the one game where it wasn't very good, then we can say that it's not going to work long term. But we're running out of time to get the best out of him, because if we don't get the best out of him next season, then there is no value left on it. We just have to wait for that contract to run out and see him leave on a free. But there is a bit of value if we sell him in the summer. But let's see if he's as good as he's shown over the last couple of weeks. That's it for me. I mean, what is everybody saying about Rodrigo? Because you guys know how I felt about him for the longest time. I said that he should have been gone in January. I'm not even going to hide from that. But he just seems to look like a real player now under Jesse Marsch. So, Cloud Dizzle, Detective KG on the case. Absolutely, man. I had to reopen the files, man. I did. I put him down. I said he was guilty. No chance of parole. But we're going to reopen the case come the end of the season. Let's have a look. Yeah, Freddie Mac, Rodrigo looks like he's enjoying himself at last. Yeah, that's a fair comment. Absolutely. Nephew saying, I'd like to see 5 goal involvements from him personally. Yeah, at least. You know, we're talking about very low totals here. And this is the thing as well, because he can't be the main option next year. He can't be the main one, because unfortunately the goals that we've scored this season isn't enough. Rodrigo is a part of that. And everyone else who's played up front is a part of that. We haven't scored enough goals. For me, we still need a new killer up front next season. But I'm talking about if he plays behind the striker. I think it could work. At this moment in time, could work. Loki saying Rodrigo Moreno's stay of execution has been accepted. Almost. We've taken him out of death row. He's back in the holding cells, but we'll see about him. Yeah, Blinky Fish, I'd keep Rudders, but we still need to add another striker. Absolutely. John H, he's clearly got ability. It's about finding a system that gets the best out of him. But let's remember he did this last year as well. Yep, John, I completely get that. I remember he did this last season. I absolutely remember that. But it's just the way that he's playing. His body language looks different to me than it did last season. Even when he did go on that little run, he just looks like he's smiling more now. Like, if you remember, he wasn't really smiling all that much. He just looks like he's enjoying himself. I think he's enjoying being part of that leadership group. I really do. Jody, though, listen, hey, it's not an echo chamber. Jody's saying, I agree to a certain extent, but I don't agree that he's on great form even since Jesse joining. I still get rid ASAP. Yeah. And I want to make it clear as well, even if he was to get sold, I wouldn't be gutted. I wouldn't be like, we should have kept him. I'd be like, okay, well, who's going to come in to replace him? That's the question. I think we've all got questions about that, especially with what Victor Orta has been talking about. Martin saying Marsch has brought that American swag and positivity to the side. Young players are reacting to that. They are absolutely, and you know what? It was refreshing as well, Martin, because we saw, didn't we, that we needed a centre when Llorente went off, a centre back came off and a centre back came on. It was very refreshing to see that, wasn't it? And then Creswell got a chance as well. He's putting more into the youth side, what Victor has been talking about, than what was previously being seen. Yes, loads of players got their debuts, but they didn't get that many minutes when you look at it overall. So it's good to see that it's nice to see him replacing like for like when necessary and not having to rejig the whole system. It is good to see that. So yeah, Martini with a super sticker. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your support, man. Much appreciated, of course. Yeah, I mean, I see that the main thing is Rodrigo needs more goals and a couple more assists, and I don't disagree with that at all. I don't disagree with that. Yeah, I mean, my thing as well, Jesse, and this kind of goes on recruitment as well, is that he talked about wanting somebody next to Kalvin Phillips in that Declan Rice role. Well, again, we're going on to recruitment. That's going to have to be something what we address in the summer, because we were speaking about on the debrief this week about who's the best option next to Kalvin Phillips. Is it Forshaw or Mateus Click? And it's like, yo, just I can't even answer that. I can't even answer that. So we definitely need somebody better, because when you're talking about a Declan Rice role, Declan Rice is balling out. He's one of the best midfielders in the league. So you need to get somebody on near that level if you're going to talk about putting Kalvin in a double pivot. So for me, with Victor Orta's comments, I still think that Jesse will have identified some players that he wants next season, because I generally just cannot believe that he will come in and want to work with this squad again next season. He already said the right things in terms of not wanting to talk about the future with any of the squad, which is the right move. You're not going to tell the players, listen, I'm going to get everything out of you for the rest of the season, and we're going to bin you off to the championship next season. You're not going to get the best out of the players. I think he's done the right thing, but it's about upgrading on some of these players. Before going to Victor Orta, I'm just going to quickly touch on the Raphinha rumors that are going about. It's the international break, of course. We're seeing Kalvin Phillips rumors to Villa. I know the Man United one is genuine. I definitely know that's genuine, but you're seeing Raphinha being linked for some paltry sums of money. And 30 million, if we ever did sell Raphinha for 30 million, just say 30 million is the price, we'd be the laughing stock of the league. We cannot sell Raphinha for that much. I'm already kind of resigned. I've already resigned to him leaving in the summer. I am. And the fact that he's more willing to go Barca. Let me just give you the latest update. Well, one of the latest updates from Fabrizio. Let me just get the comment up. Let's get that. Right, yeah. So Fabrizio Romano. Now, I don't usually take rumors at like this, but Fabrizio is very reliable. So you kind of do have to listen to some people, and he's one person that I would listen to. Raphinha would be open to join Barcelona in the summer. Positive talks between Deco and the club since March the 9th. No discussion between the clubs yet, as Barca will wait for Leeds' situation to be clarified. Chelsea will lead in the race for Raphinha before the sanctions. And yeah, I mean, listen, Joseph, KG, you said you genuinely didn't believe we wouldn't sign anyone in January too. I know, but that's on me, obviously, for thinking that the club would do the right thing, but we gambled by not doing anything. But if they do it this summer, I say it from here, we're in another relegation battle, and it's not even up for discussion for me. You cannot take the bulk of this squad into next season and start most of these players. Just can't. But I'm going by what the club should do, Joseph, not what they will do. Let's put it that way. But yeah, Raphinha, Barca, I can absolutely see that happening. Deco, the links, he used to play for Barca, Brazilian at Barcelona, makes sense. But 30 million, no chance. No chance at all. For me, it has to be at least 60. And I mean, we're starting at 60. I just don't see how we're selling somebody of this, a player of this magnitude. Because as soon as Raphinha goes, his goals, his assists, everything is going up. And I'm being generous with 60. I mean, Philip here, KG, bro, we definitely need 80 million for Raphinha, no lower than 70. I'm with you, Philip. The only problem is, I think it's going to get to that point where Raphinha's looking to move, where he might say, listen, if you get a decent enough offer, please let me go. And then when you're at that point, you're kind of at the mercy of the player, because we can't keep unhappy players. I've always said it, no matter how much I love players, no matter how much I want them to stay, as soon as they want to go, let them go. There's no keeping an unhappy player just does nobody any favors. So you're talking about a player as well that's got 2 years left on his contract. I mean, Bang Jack's the same Barca as Skint. I think they're going to get an influx of money from Spotify. Don't quote me on this, but I think they're going to get influx because their stadium is going to be called Spotify Nou Camp. So I think they're going to be getting some money come the summertime. So I think that's where it comes in. But for me, yeah, Triple G, Raphinha could walk into any team in the world easily. Exactly. We can't short sell ourselves. We can't. We would have to make Raphinha understand, listen, happy for you to go to a Champions League, especially out the country. That would make me very happy. I don't want to see him in a Liverpool shirt. That would be my worst nightmare, especially with that fan base. But it has to be right for us. And if they're saying 60 million, like somebody said earlier, 70, then yeah, I'm with it. And I will admit, I'm very, very cold when it comes to players leaving the club, because I just think of them as, yeah, they'll be here for a bit and then they'll go and then that's it. We replace them. But I will be honest, when this one does happen, because it will happen in the summer, I will feel like I did when Harry Kewell left. And that was the last time I ever cared about a player really leaving, is when Harry Kewell left for Liverpool. I will be like, oh man, this one's tough. This one's going to hurt. But I'm resigned to it already. I really am. ST saying, I'm scared for life without Raf, because the way the board is going, they won't regenerate the Raf money back into the squad. Mark this down and watch it happen next season. Rodrigo will go as well. Yeah, Tommy. That's cool. We need to punish Barca for post 70 million for me. That's tremendous. That is tremendous. So yeah, I mean, just for me, Raphinha, yes, he's going to go to a Champions League club, deserves it. He's a top player, deserves that kind of platform, and I can't wait to see him on that platform. Wish it was with us in a couple of years, but it's not going to be. So yeah, Barcelona, get the wallet out, and you're starting at 30. You need to bump that up. It's not happening for 30 million. It just can't. It would be self-sabotage if we let him go for any less than 60. And I'm being generous with 60, but I'm just thinking about it if Raphinha starts to make a bit of noise and wants to go quickly. So that's where I am with Raphinha. That's where I am with Raphinha and my thoughts on that. Let me just go through. Oh, okay. D saying, I felt bad when Ben White wasn't coming back. Don't feel the same about Raphinha. It's interesting, man. It's interesting. James saying the amount of goals and assists he would get in the Spanish league would be scary, considering it's easier league than the Prem. I mean, yeah, I mean, easier. It's definitely not as intense. And yeah, he's going to have all the time in the world to do all his trickery and magic and putting balls through at the moment to Aubameyang, to Memphis Depay, Pedri. Oh man, they've got some, Barca are rebuilding nicely. So, and I'm sure Raphinha would only be the star of it for them. So yeah. Bruce, hi Cage, love the content, mate. Thank you so much, Bruce. Like I say, people, please smash a like on the video if you haven't done that already. Triple G, some fans happy for 50 million jokers. Yeah, for me, 50 is too low. I do it in comparison with other players that are nowhere near his level, that have gone for more. So for 60, I'm even shortchanging us at 60. I really am. I really am shortchanging us at 60 million. It's way more than that. But you do have to consider if the player does say, listen, please let me go. Unfortunately, transfer requests do kind of lower the fees at times. You could always play it like Tottenham did with Harry Kane, but it doesn't work like that for everybody, I'm afraid. It doesn't work like that for everyone. Uh, Dave saying, and who wouldn't move for more money in any walk of life? Yeah, I agree with that, Dave. And I just think it's more the opportunities he'll get to showcase his talent on the biggest stage, which is the Champions League. Jack, no, I haven't spoken about Orta yet. I'm about to do that right now. Just seeing if I missed anything else. There was one talking about. Yeah, Philip. That's it as well. I mean, that's the last thing. Philip saying, KG, I'd rather Raphinha go abroad than somewhere sunny, not in the Premier League. Premiership, Philip. 2007 call. But yeah, no, I completely hear you, Philip. I don't want to see him in the Prem. Not at all. I don't care if Newcastle could pay 130 million, or even though business wise it makes sense to take that. I would rather see him go for a less. That's from a fan point of view. Obviously, from a business point of view, they take the highest offer. But I think he's looking for Champions League football. And Kalvin Phillips. I mean, people talk about Kalvin Phillips. Um, Listen, Calvin Phillips for me, I think if he does go, I don't think it will be to Villa, with all due respect. I know Villa are trying to build something really good there, but I know Calvin is being watched by Man United. I know that there's people in Manchester United that really like Calvin Phillips a lot. And he's at the stage now where if he stays this year, I don't think he gets a big move come next summer. Because what is he now? Is he 26 or 27? He's one of those, but saying that he could have a really good World Cup and people could go back in for him, that's absolutely true. But I think Calvin, if he's going to stay, I think that might be it. I think he might sign a new contract and stay for a while. But Villa, I don't see it. I see him going to a Champions League club if he does go. But right now, I don't know if Calvin's going to go. I really can't say that. Blink, give me your thoughts. Actually, give me your thoughts in the comments. Give me your thoughts in the comments on the video if you're watching the replay. Do you think Calvin Phillips stays this summer? Blinkyfish saying, I think if we stay up, I think Calvin stays. Yeah. Jack Glennie, I think City because Fernandinho's contract is up, or even Liverpool. Yeah, good shouts. I mean, I think that they could definitely go for a Calvin Phillips. You're absolutely right. I mean, Liverpool, they need to move on from a couple of their older guys in midfield. Yeah, I said he would be a great replacement for Jordan Henderson as they're trying to phase him out. Manchester City could definitely see that happening. He's 26, right. So he's not an old man. I'm just going by his age and his injury history because unfortunately he does pick up a few injuries as well. I mean, Loki's trying to go with that old. He's a Leeds fan, but KP is different. No, he's a genuine Leeds fan. His heart will overrule any cash urge. I think he will stay. I think it's not really so much of the cash. I think it's more the prestige of playing in the Champions League at this point. Obviously, he's going to get paid wherever he goes. He'll get paid if he stays at Leeds. So, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Sam S. We can't lose Raphinha and Kalvin. Surely we certainly can. Sam, we certainly can, especially if the squad looks anything like it does now next season. Oh, we definitely can. Raphinha is not staying around while the players that he's got around him currently are here. He's not, and neither is Kalvin. As much as he's friends with a lot of these guys, it goes past that. It goes past what they're going to win in their career. They want medals. You know, Kalvin is in the England squad right now with Liverpool, Man City players, all talking about cup finals. Chelsea players, they're all discussing their medals. Kalvin hasn't really got one except for the championship one. So we need to match these players' ambitions. That's a must. It is a must. Bandy's going back to Raphinha. For as long as Raphinha is not going to a Premier League team, I think he will stay for another season. I hope you're right. I just don't see it happening. But listen, people, we're talking about we're in transfer talk. Let's move on to Victor Orta. Yeah, let's move on to Victor Orta. Uh, Let me just give you the main bit that everyone's talking about. Um, our idea is 18 professionals, and the other four being with the under 23s because we believe in the youth development and want to give responsibility to the academy. It is true that it's risky. I mean, that, bro, you've seen this season, it's definitely a risk. Blinky Fish, Kalvin for captain next season. If he's here, absolutely, absolutely. Um, Victor Orta's comments, and let me just go back to John because he made a good point here. John saying, I think people are overreacting to Orta's comments. Having 18 first team players and having the 23s of backup is okay, as long as the quality of those 18 players is greatly improved. And I'm with you, John. But we have to now trust that this board and recruitment are going to do exactly that, John. And for me, from when I said last summer, we need to move out 4 of these players and bring in 4, that didn't happen. When I said in December, as somebody rightly, pulled me back on it as well, that we need to upgrade in January and move a couple of these players out, and nothing happened. We now need to trust that they're going to do this. And for me, yes, for me, 18 is still too light, John. I think that we need to have at least, I would say, 21 first team players and then use under 23s for the rest. I think you can get away with that. 18 is very light. And although the training has changed now, so maybe we won't pick up so many injuries, we are needing to gut out a lot of this squad. I mean, a lot of it. A lot of it, man. Yeah, Jack, this season has to be a wake-up call. But I said this in December, didn't I? I said when they were looking at our players, when they were watching the games and we were getting hammered, you were thinking, they're seeing what they're seeing now and they're going to upgrade in January. And we did nothing. So please, yeah, I mean, give me your thoughts on this now live in the chat. There's a lot of people here. Give me your thoughts on Victor Orta's comments in the comments on the video too. Jazzbeer, if Leeds don't spend on quality, then I feel Rafa and Kalvin will leave. When you're a quality player, you need to add trophies. Trust me. It's not just trophies though, Jazz. That is true. But it's like with Declan Rice. Declan Rice has stayed at West Ham because he can see the vision of what they're trying to do. As long as you can give the players a vision of what you're trying to do, they will buy into it and be a part of that solution. But when you're not doing anything, which has happened in January, and I do believe that is one reason why Raphinha's form dipped, because nothing happened in Jan, then you're not speaking anything to him. We're in a position now where we need to see the board's actions rather than words for me. That's where I am now. Yeah, Cloud Dizzle, not recruiting properly next season equals suicide. I completely agree. I'm sorry, but if we go into the next season and we start the season, say, with Mateus Click, Luke Ayling, Stuart Dallas at left back, and many others, Adam Forshaw, nah, we're done for. We're not doing anything in the league next season. And I just worry as well that if they're talking about just adding 1 or 2 in the summer, that these guys are happy being Roy Hodgson's Crystal Palace, Mike Ashley's Newcastle United. And that for me, and I've said it on here before, can't stand that. Can't stand it when you're just doing everything you can just to exist in the Prem. That is just not fun for anybody. John saying, I agree, but quality is more important than quality. But more quality is more. Oh, I think you mean quantity. Yeah, I want to see at least 5 or 6 new players in the summer, but I don't want us to see us go back to the scattergun approach to recruitment we had before. Yeah, absolutely. We need some central midfielders. No more wingers. In fact, I would say get some wingers, but only if you're going to replace the ones that we've got and they're better. That's what I would say. And I mean, Dave saying Bielsa wasn't in the plans, hence the lack of signings. I really think he wouldn't have resigned to stay. Well, I mean, you know what? I mean, I've seen it a couple of times now where people are saying, so all of a sudden now Bielsa didn't ask for any signings in a sarcastic way. And it's like, Bielsa, always said that he would only upgrade if he thought players were better than what we've currently got. So it doesn't tell you that he didn't reject any players that were suggested. It doesn't tell you that. I just think now that the whole thing with Bielsa, obviously the ones that see that Bielsa didn't do anything wrong in their eyes will now go with that narrative. But if we were doing okay and we didn't make any signings, they would be saying, "See, Bielsa told us we didn't need any signing, and he was right." Like, you can't have it both ways. I just think that he may have rejected some. Listen, we won't know until the summer if those stories come out. So let's just wait and see. Paul saying Noah Lang for Raphinha, need a new striker also. Noah Lang, I wish we could have got him, Paul. We should have done it last year if we were going to do it. There's too many bigger clubs looking at him now. He's out of our shopping basket now, unfortunately. Yeah, but he also thought players that were better in the 30 million bracket, and they weren't. You could have got loan players that were better than what we've currently got quite easily as well. Phillips saying, KG, bro, I think they will still be at Leeds, but they will be used as bench players so that we've got a bigger squad. Yeah, Philip, you know what it is? I don't know. I don't trust these guys to keep them on the bench. That's what it is for me. I do worry about some of these players still being here and having too much sentimental influence over the club, and they'll still be starting games. I just hope that that's not the case. But a couple do need to be sold. Not a couple, a lot of them, because we need to bring some money in. I told you already. Yes, we're going to get in some good money for Raphinha, but we need to sell some other players. We're buying all these players in, but we're not getting any of them out, and we should be. We have to. For me, you know what? Let me just roll it into this now. I've got Djed Spence's name in the title of the video because he's being linked with a move to a top Premier League club. Top Premier League clubs and clubs around Europe want Djed Spence. But what about if we went in for him? A club like Leeds United that will give him the platform to play every week. He's a huge upgrade on Luke Ayling straight away. Like, it's not even a question. So he'd be coming here instead of going to a big club where he might not get the playing time. Why not come to Leeds United first? And if we're a stepping stone, fair enough, because that's currently where we are right now. We're a stepping stone for players to showcase their talents. But I would happily take Djed Spence, who's on loan at Forest from Middlesbrough, next season as a right back at the club. I would. I think he's very good. Phil, speaking my language. Brennan Johnson as well, good player. And we were linked with him in January, weren't we? But for me, I said it at the time and I stick with it. Brennan Johnson would be a good signing, but he needs to come with somebody else as well. He can't be the main one. I think it would be way too much pressure for him to have on his shoulders, especially at a club like Leeds. But for me, Djed Spence would be a treat, and I think we should be looking at him come the summertime. And I think if Djed Spence was looking at it the same way as well, he'd get more. He'd definitely get regular Premier League football at Leeds United, big stage, big club. I think that it would be a move that he would love to do. Give me your thoughts. And please, I know people will say, but we should be looking at better talent, not Championship. There's levels to it. There's levels to it. There's players that will come from the Championship. People mentioned him earlier, Michael Elise. He's a Championship player, but now he's a Premier League established player. Matty Cash, Atletico Madrid are looking at Matty Cash. So there are players that can make the jump and it make it look seamless, unlike other players. So that's where I am with him. Luke W. Spence is definitely better defensively. Yeah, Luke, he's better defensively and he's brilliant going forward, but he's got the recovery speed. That's something else that he's got. So if he does get caught out of position, like sometimes it happens with Ayling, he'll get back. He's got more of a chance of getting back than Luke Ayling. Yeah, Blinky Fish, in regards to the squad, Jesse won't have the same fondness for this squad like Marcelo had. Hopefully, he's had some input about strengthening the squad and making it larger. Yeah, Blinky, Jesse Marsch worked with Erling Haaland, Shabazlai. He's worked with actual ballers. There's no way, and I'm going to put myself on the line here, there's no way he's looking at the players that he's currently got and thinking, this is the best I can do. There's no chance. So we have to see new players come in the summer. Triple G talking about Spence and Johnson. They both were solid against Liverpool. Didn't look out of place. Yeah, they were tremendous, but they've been tremendous all season. And I had my eye on Brendan Johnson when I saw him on loan at Lincoln. I thought, man, this player looks like he could be something. And I wanted to see how he did on the Championship stage this season with Forest. He's killed it. He's absolutely killed it. And if Forest don't go up, I mean, we certainly wouldn't be the only club looking at these two players. But we have to look at them and say we need to take them. We gotta take them. So yeah, Seastone 37, Bowen. There's so many examples of championship players that are clearly at Premiership level. It doesn't work for all of them, but there are ones where you can see they would seamlessly just transition easy. Um, Yorkshire PLO, do you think Jackie and DJ will be our starters if Raf goes? I would hope not, Yorkshire PLO. I would hope that the club have got a better plan or another name in mind. I haven't thought about it yet. A few people have asked about who I'd get to replace Raphinha. I haven't thought about that too much yet, but I would hope that the club wouldn't think that Jack Harrison and Dan James are our out and out wingers starting every game next season. I would hope not. Nephews, who do you think we should bring in and who should let go? I'm gonna do a video about that come the end of the season. That's definitely happening. Uh, Phil Clark, I think he has said that he wants two players for each position. That's just what many managers want. And many managers want a couple of options at each position. It's normal. What we've had over the last 3.5 years under Bielsa, that's not regular. That's just not what happens in teams. You don't have a Stuart Dallas that can cover nearly every position. You don't just trust one DM in Kalvin Phillips to hopefully be fit all season. You don't just trust one striker in Patrick Bamford to hopefully shoulder the load for all year. It doesn't happen, people. So we got to get our minds back into the mindset of having two players at each position. It's just standard at every big club, every Premier League club. That's why the squads are like 25 players. So yeah, I'm happy with Jesse saying that. Hopefully he gets in the players that he wants and that are of quality. Um, let's have a look. Tom saying, don't you think the name of Marcelo Bielsa attracted bigger players to Leeds? Raphinha, Rodrigo would never have come if we had Jesse Marsch in charge at the time. I completely agree. I completely agree, Tom. But we've always been a draw, especially in the Premier League, and I think it's still the same now. I still think we can draw players here, as long as Victor or whoever's here can sell those players on the project. That's just my opinion. But you're absolutely right. I don't think if we had Jesse Marsch here in the first year that we would have got Raphinha. Yeah, I completely agree with that because that was a steal. We got Raphinha from a Champions League team, so that shows you the levels that Marcelo could attract. Absolutely. Yeah, Jack. I like Dan James though. His pressing is elite. It is. As long as his end product continues to get better, I agree. But I still think that you want somebody better than that as your starter. I ideally would like to see Dan James be the reserve winger, the one that comes off the bench and makes an impact like that. But we cannot just take out Raphinha and then think that Harrison and Dan James are it. Not for me. Not if we're looking to move up the table like everybody wants us to do. You have to make better changes than that and improve the squad better than that. In regards to the squad, Tipsy Adonis, in regards to centre back, I'd happily see Llorente sold if it moves Charlie Crozell up the pecking order. Big mistake if we lose him, I think. Yeah, it would be. I do think we do have a logjam at centre back. Someone's going to have to go. At least two, maybe one even out on loan in Yelda. Maybe he has to go out on loan. But we do need to show, tighten up that centre back area. We've got way too many, but they have to make the right choices. They have to. They can't keep players that shouldn't be here. Unfortunately, I said this on the debrief, but I said Llorente could go, and then that would leave us with Cooper. But I'm still thinking now. I don't know if I'd want that, but I'm just thinking in terms of the leadership group here that he so likes. Maybe he'd have Cooper as the bench guy, using more of like a Mark Noble captain, where he's the captain, but he's on the bench. I can accept that, but I just think our options need to be better than that. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll have a definitive answer on that come the end of the season, because Liam Cooper, since he's been out, has been talked about as this great leader and everything else like that. People are seeing things that I'd never seen before. So we'll see, because he's got to play eventually. He's got to play eventually, and the proof will be in the pudding. Um, yeah, Matt saying Marsch relies on fullbacks to provide the width. Wingers are obsolete. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. This summer is it's so huge. It's so huge in what's going to happen in terms of the makeup of this team. It's going to be massive. And that's why I've got a vested interest in all the rumors and links to the club. And Alison Marty Adams, I agree with you as well. Don't think Jesse would have taken the job had he not had agreements in place to get players he needs. I completely agree with that as well. Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, listen, just on Orta's comments, Chris, behave, behave. KG, okay, Yorkshire PLO, KG, I love you, bro, but you can't play only 22 to 23-year-old players in the Premier League. You need leaders to survive in this league. Players like Cooper, Dallas, Ayling. I know not everybody can play, but you need them for the bench. But I tell you what, Yorkshire PLO, you're right. You do need older heads, but how about you get better older heads? How about you do that instead of keeping players that are not up to par? Wouldn't that be better? But it's just, will they do it? I don't know. I don't know, because they've proved me wrong twice in 2 transfer windows. So I don't know. But for me, Yorkshire PLO and everyone else, it's about getting out of this bubble and believing that these players are better than they actually are, because they're not. They've proven it this season. The energy juice ran out. It ran out completely. And I said, once that energy juice ran out, you're going to see the quality just go down, and it has. So yeah, we can get some older heads, Yorkshire PLO, but for me, they just have to be better. That's what it would be for me anyway. I, obviously, everyone else, please give your comments and if you agree or disagree. Um, but yeah, on the whole, Orta, I just think that he wants to keep the small squad. I don't know if that's being cheap. I don't know if that means that they are willing to rip out this squad now and say goodbye to a few bodies. Proof will be in the pudding come the summer. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Um, Dave saying, sadly, we need to be ruthless to even get in the top 12. It's true. It's true. We can't we can't rely on these players, man. We just can't. Sorin, for sure, for another year is okay as a squad player. Click, I think, has reached the end of the line. Yeah, Click's been done. He's been done. That case file is already done. Like, we're not reopening that case file. It's done. um, Johnny be good. McKennie would be incredible, but Juve are keeping him for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. If he wasn't being used at Juventus, then I think there'd be a good chance of getting him. But he's been getting games all year. So no. Blinky fish. That's what we're going to discuss at the end of the season. Who do we keep from this current squad? The thing is, we're going to have to be realistic with it. Unfortunately, if we're doing a championship manager kind of thing, well, oof, then we're going to blitz it. But I'm gonna try and keep it realistic come the end of the season. Jamie saying, great call on Spence, KG. Totally agree with you. Cheers for that. Yeah, absolutely. Tom Cooper is not a leader. Listen, Tom, for the last month or so, I've been seeing nothing but Cooper's a great leader, but I literally been watching these games all season and never seen him lead once, not once. But listen, maybe he's better off the field or something. It could be one of those kind of things where he's an off the field leader, but he's certainly not vocal on the pitch. But we'll see what happens when he comes back. Like I say, he's got to play at some point. He's got to play, so we'll see. Um, but yeah, I mean that's it for me, people. That's it for me. Unless there's any other comments you want to get through. No, I need to change this. There's no band reference in the title. TSSF is the story so far. I'm like, that's all it is. It's because it's a quite long title, but I will rejig that. I will rejig it. Um, Lars, the who we are going to keep video is going to be short. It's going to be mad, isn't it? It's going to be mad. But I might have to link it all with the players who keep and go. Uh, Scandinavian saying a striker to challenge Patrick Bamford. He's too comfortable at the moment. Yeah, he's been comfortable. You should never have one player for every position. But I said this last season. I said it last season, even when we was ninth. I said there's no way that in a football team you should have one player for one position. It just breeds complacency. It does. Like you can't just have one player. Kalvin Phillips has been out. He has no worries about getting back into the team when he should. There should be somebody else in his position now making Kalvin Phillips go, am I even going to get back in the team? But he's going to get straight back in. Just as Patrick Bamford has got straight back in. Should never be the case at a football club. But that's been the problem. And I told you this at the start of the year. It's just been like a family vibe in this club. And this is something that they cannot do next season because they will go down with this squad. They will. So the family vibe has got to start from this summer coming. There's going to just have to be some uncomfortable conversations that have to be had. Say, listen, it's the end of the line for you here. Thanks for everything you've done. We'll never forget the promotions. We're all gonna celebrate in a few years and celebrate you guys. But this is the end of the line for you. We've got some moves lined up for you. All the best. That's what's got to happen this summer, especially if Victor Orta is going to keep the same kind of 20-man squad with under 23s. Got to. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All right. Yeah. Tite is saying, caught you on the debrief with the NWO Wolfpack t-shirt. Don't turn your back on the Wolfpack. Rest in peace, Scott Hall. Yeah, I actually got that t-shirt before he passed away, actually. Yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, if you talk about wrestling, I don't know who's the champion now. No point asking me. I used to watch it back in the day when it was the Attitude Era and stuff like that. So, but yeah, NWO was one of my favorites, definitely. Tom Gatlin, innocent smoother, innocent smoothie sponsor coming your way. I wish it was. I wish it was. If you guys knew how some sponsorship work on here, you would never believe it. Sponsorship, but they don't actually give you money. Work that out. Work that out. Matthew Hall, we're a joke, point blank. Yeah, this season, yes, we have been a joke. We've been a butt of a lot of people's jokes this season. That's why it's been good to see the resilience the last couple of games where the teams dug out victories from nowhere. Got to give them credit for that. So, yeah. A Storks, Gerhardt's a direct challenge for Paddy. He is, but he hasn't been given the opportunities that he should have. He hasn't over the season. When you add it up for how long Bamford's been out, Gerhardt has had nowhere near the minutes he should have. And that's why, for me, again, we're talking about Phillips, Melier, Raphinha. Gerhardt could be one of those who's getting on all these young gun lists that people keep publishing, young ballers lists. He could be one saying in the summer, well, listen, I've been getting the games. These guys really like me. Maybe I want to go. There's not just the obvious few that you need to look out for. Joe Gerhardt could be one. Charlie Creswell's got his admirers at Liverpool, Man United. So he hasn't had the minutes that he should have. And that's why I said about Cody Drama at the time. I take nothing back from that video. He was right to go out on loan. He's a young player that wanted first team football in the championship. He was right to go out on loan. And that's why if Gerhardt does say that he wants to go because he's not getting the minutes he feels that he deserves, it wouldn't surprise me. But listen, that's going to be for the summer. That's going to be for the summer. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, just repeating that. Yeah, Gerhardt missed some games that would have played due to injuries. Absolutely. Okay. Yep, Sam S. The top 15 also have got 20 to 30 million pound players on the bench. this is the Premier League. We either spend the money or get relegated. Yeah, absolutely. And again, once again, you don't have to spend 20 to 30 million. Michael Elise was 8. Eze was 16. It's about recruitment, your recruitment being right. Get that right, and you don't need to spend 20 to 30 million on everybody. But that's on the club to do that. But they've got to get out some of these players and get some fees back for them. They have to. We have to see some fees coming in for some of these players. But look, we shall see what happens, people. But listen, thank you for everyone that's tuned in. We've gone an hour. I cannot believe it's been an hour. It's been great talking to everybody that's tuned in today. Like I say, please smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I'm on the road to 5K. Hopefully, you can get that anytime soon. And yeah, listen, we'll see what happens before the next video. I should do Southampton preview. Might come back before that one. Let's see what's going on. But yeah, if you're watching the replay, please leave all your comments in the comment box on the video. Peace out, people.